I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. Hi, welcome to the video. This is Hurt, obviously, and this is a song that I've been covering for about 7 years now. It's not even my first attempt at making a video for this cover. That happened back in 2020. And at the time, I had an entire spiel planned out for the intro to this video, which I then never finished and thus never published. And now that I am semi-successfully making videos of this type, the shtick that I had planned 5 years ago might be relevant again, but honestly I was questioning even including it. I have to say, it seemed a lot more topical at the time that I came up with it. But then I mentioned making this video to a friend of mine who apparently hasn't heard me play this song anytime in the past several years, and so he asked whether I was covering the Johnny Cash version or the original. Which is a fair question because, needless to say, this is hardly virgin ground I'm covering here. This song has been well covered, most notoriously by the Man in Black, and that's where the old intro comes into play. But in order to introduce the introduction, I have to tell you about Danny Boy, because I really haven't heard anything about him since around the time that I wrote this introduction making fun of him. Danny Boy is basically this Scottish, Pakistani stand-up, and at one point he did a comedic bit about this particular song. In fact, the lyrics that I just sang for you. I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. The only thing is, he apparently thought that Johnny Cash had written the song. And so he's like, oh, what a mensch. Nobody else could have written that. Which, of course, is ridiculous, because he didn't. And no real shade on Johnny Cash, but he just wasn't deep enough to have written this song. I mean, if you listen to Johnny Cash music, you're in for a lot of polka beat. Not intricate timings and diminished fifths. Certainly not the kind of vulnerable, introspective lyrics that Trent Reznor is famous for. I have no doubt that he went through enough shit in his lifetime to resonate with this song. I mean, he was a Reznor resonator, aren't we all? But he couldn't have written it, which is why he didn't. Anyway, I didn't even know of Danny Boy when he did that bit. I only found out about it because he told on himself in a subsequent comedy special. See, evidently, he had gotten lambasted online, well-deservedly, for having said this shit without having clue one about what he was talking about. And, of course, he framed it as though one guy was hounding him from platform to platform, calling him out on this, which I consider unlikely. But anyway, even when he corrected himself in a second comedy bit, he couldn't get shit right, because he kept saying it was Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails. Problem with that is, Trent Reznor isn't from Nine Inch Nails. He is Nine Inch Nails. Literally, he writes and records the different parts himself, much like I do, much like Prince did, if you're familiar with the artist formerly known as that goofy fucking symbol. That's the point. It's not Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails. It's Trent Reznor, aka Nine Inch Nails. And the exception that I took with this wasn't so much that Danny Boy got up on stage and talked out his ass without doing the most basic research into what the fuck he was talking about. I mean, you sort of expect that from stand-ups to a certain extent. But it's just a question of taste in this case. I mean, how do you go pumping up the Johnny Cash cover without even being aware of the original in the first place? I think Danny Boy must be really into them polka beats. Again, no shade on Johnny Cash. He was a talented musician, but with Trent Reznor? No, there's no comparison. These are not equivalent. But this is where the whole diatribe circles round and becomes relevant again. Like I said, I've been covering this song for a long time. And while I certainly based my cover on the original Nine Inch Nails song in the first place, my friend's question did cause me to go back and re-listen to it. See, the thing is, music has a life of its own, and at this point, I've played my cover of this song much more than I ever listened to the original, and a hell of a lot more than I listened to the Cash version. However, on the final analysis, I have to say my version is probably closer to Cash than it is to Reznor. I mean, if you're familiar with me as a musician, you'll know I'm much more of a guitarist than I am a keyboard player. And vocally, I'm a bit more of a baritone than a tenor, and so it's pretty natural for my version to sound more like the Man in Black's. But that doesn't make that realization any more comfortable after I've just gotten through talking all of that shit. So yeah, this isn't really going to be a keyboard cover, which you might have noticed from the thumbnail. The 9-inch thumbnail, that is. Well, only if you're watching this on a projection screen. But yeah, I just did that bit for this intro. The thing is, I suspected all along that this cover would be easier to play on the keyboard than it was on the guitar. And I think I was right, because I was able to figure out what I just played for you this very evening. And it definitely took me longer to master the guitar cover. But anyway, that's been the introduction for the song. And without further ado, I give you Hurt by 9 Inch Nails, also known as Trent Reznor. I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. That needle tears a hole, the old familiar sting. Try to kill it all away, but I remember everything. What am I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end. And you could have it all. My empire of night. you heard. I wear this crown of shit upon my liar's chair, full of broken thoughts that I cannot repair. Beneath the stains of time, the traces disappear. You are someone else. I am still right here. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end. And you could have it all. My empire of nerves. I will let you know. I will make you earn. If I could start again, a million miles away, I would keep myself. I would find a way. It was Trent Reznor from 9 Inch Nails.